So in this video, I'm going to go over the best advice for reading comprehension on the LSAT. This is coming from a 180 scorer who got admission to Harvard Law School as one of only 100 people in the entire world last year to score a perfect 180 score on the LSAT. I was the only Latino in the world last year to score a perfect 180 score on the LSAT, and I'm an LSAT tutor who's gotten people to above 170 scores, dozens of students. And I'm posting these videos because I want to democratize this information. I want to create lawyers, who serve everybody, not just a few people on top. So I want to democratize this information, put it out for free, and get you to your goal score. So okay, let's get into it. What is the best advice for reading comprehension? So reading comprehension comes down to it's 13 sentences on a topic. So in the way most people go about it is they'll read a sentence, they'll kind of digest it, they'll move on, and then by the end of the passage they'll have somewhat of an idea of what they just read, but then they'll look at the questions and they'll have to go back and forth between the question and the passage, question and the passage, question and the passage. The way I teach my students and the way I want you to go about reading comprehension, the way that will separate you from everyone else taking the LSAT, is you're going to spend much more time on the passage than you do on the questions. And how do you do that? Well, first off, like I always say, do something called active reading. So active reading means you don't move on to the next sentence until you've completely understood the sentence you've just read. You also should have some sort of reaction to each sentence. But even more importantly than that, the most important thing to do on reading comprehension is after reading every sentence, you pause and you think, okay, one, you think, did I understand what I just read? Number two, you ask, okay, but what does this sentence tell me about the author's opinion on the topic? So you're basically on reading comprehension, when you're reading a passage, you're going to pretend you're like a detective trying to figure out what is the author's opinion on the topic of the passage. So literally after every single sentence, you're going to pause and think, okay, what does this sentence tell me about the author's opinion on the topic? Does the author like the topic? Does the author disagree with the topic? Is the author neutral? Is the author really angry? Does the author want change? Does the author really believe or look up to the person that's being talked about in the passage? You want to be a detective and you want to try and figure out what the author's opinion is on the topic. And why do we do this? So let me break down why this is important. Before I get into this, actually, if you want individualized tutoring, click the link in the description. You could buy a month of $20 an hour tutoring from me. I'm proud to say it's literally 10 times less than other competitors on the market. You also, on top of this, get everything I know about getting into law school, getting a perfect 180 score on the LSAT. You get individual access to me. Check that out soon, $20 an hour, buy a month of it in the link in the description. Our students are getting great results. But again, let's think, okay, why do we have to keep asking ourselves, what is the author's opinion? Well, there's a few reasons for this. First off, one, it'll just keep you focused and locked in on what you're reading. So a lot of people, they say, oh, the passage is too hard, I can't focus on it, I get distracted. Having a question to ask yourself every single sentence keeps you zoned, focused, locked into the passage. So one, it'll keep you focused. Number two, it makes it more interesting. It makes it more, you're searching for something. You're not passively reading, you're actively searching for what the author's opinion is. So gets you more engaged. Number three, a lot of the questions that are asked on reading comprehension are basically have to do with what the author's opinion is. So if you already know what the author's opinion is, if you've been looking for it throughout the whole passage, then it's easy once you get to the questions because you've already done so much thinking about it. And then finally, the author's opinion could be really hard to find in some passages. Sometimes it's literally just one word in the entire passage that gives away what the author's opinion is. And if you're not asking yourself consistently what is the author's opinion, you could easily miss that one word. So again, please, after every single sentence, pause and literally ask yourself, okay, what does this sentence tell me about the author's opinion? Do that for reading comprehension. You'll be better off than anyone else taking the test. If you want to get live tutoring from me and see me do this live, click the link in the description, $20 an hour tutoring. You could buy a month of it in the link in the description. You get everything I know. Comment below any questions you have. please follow, like, hit the subscribe button, comment, like. That stuff is all free so that it could spread in the algorithm and we could really help even more people get into law school, spread my message, and create a legal system that works for everyone, not just the top. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.